ain't no I exist. Don't touch my cup, you know how I feel.
Camara Drive-In. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara. Fresh off a big performance a week ago, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by Matt Ryan, NFL MVP back in 2016, and now in his 12th year in the league.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss, and despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And, Charles, now we get our first look at this offense.
And one guy you have to look at in particular is Kyle Long. Can play guard or tackle with a nice degree of nastiness.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. To throw is Ryan. Got his target, Pierre Garçon. The 30, 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Pierre Garçon, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Here come the Seahawks and their offense now under veteran head coach Pete Carroll. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press and one team gets an advantage. Our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle. And these are the guys we're about to see down on the turf in just a moment.
Joe Staley, the left tackle, one of the most respected players in the league, as well as one of the most talented.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Check. Press down. One pass. Shoot. Watch the shoot.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. They'll roll him out right. He's going to take Wilson. Hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick up the first.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big third down pickup to keep their drive alive.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson escaping the pressure. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Credit that sack to Jabal Sheard.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the scrambler or the dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion.
Alert. Check 52. Check 52. Come on.
Play action. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete. It was Bryce Callahan jarring the ball free defensively.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Oh, good agility by Cobb. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 13 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown.
And they've got a nice scheme going right now, and they run the football pretty well. In fact, I was talking with him on the field before the game, and he said he's starting to hear from the guys ahead of him on the rushing yardage total, and they want to know if he's going to jump up there and join them at the top of the list.
He's got his man. It's Andrews. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. The starters defensively now for the Seahawks. They were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, the head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
Let's go. We got this. Hey, check 25.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Check. Watch 54. Exit. Check 4.
From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. That 2nd down run, a big help as 7 yards leaves them with just a 3rd and 3 now. Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and the lead moves to 10-zip. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They'll look to get something started. They need to. Down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll run. This is Hunt. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First down, Seattle, 16 yards, the gain there.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 10-0 the score after one. On EA Sports.
Seahawks, nothing. Let's go, team. Big series right here. We got
Now Hunt. A gain of 3, second down.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
7 yards there and a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Bang out, bang out, bam, bam. 19.
They go play action with Wilson. Flushed out right. He'll take a shot for the... And it'll be intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now Ryan. Over the middle, complete. It's Andrews. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Ryan looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Mark Andrews, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. This offense certainly looking a lot more comfortable here at home. They lost last week in the opener on the road, but there's something about that home opener makes you feel more settled.
Yeah, I wish we could quantify it, too, because you're playing the same game. The field's the same, size. We know all of that. But being at home, sometimes when you do things well, you get that extra push from your home fans, and it elevates your game.
And in the driver's seat right now.
Let's go, fellas.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
They go play action now. Wilson buying time to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Hassan Reddick, he's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Watch twins.
On third down, here's Hunt. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Flush to his right. Now he'll pull it down. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
They go play action here on first down. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the ball ends up out of bounds, so it'll be a loss on the play. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Target. Good job right there. Rush in.
Now it's Hunt. And he's taken down inside the 30. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. To throw is Wilson. Off play action. Sliding out of the pocket. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyreek Hill. His second touchdown on the season as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Right there. 280. 280. 54
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Dances by him. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with a run so far. To throw on 2nd and 10. Wilson, and he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Micah Hyde able to get a hand in and knock that one away. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now it's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Now here's Michael Dixon standing right on his own 5-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On the ground, this is Kamara. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
25. 56.
Final play of the half. It's Ryan. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Switch. 36 power.
Off play action. Wilson. He's going to look deep for more. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Now Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Vita Vea.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the...
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Dante Hightower coming in for the sack from his linebacker spot. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 18. To begin the drive, here's a handoff to Hunt. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
He'll buy some time right. And going deep for... Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by Bryce Callahan.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage. But instead, he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that's caught inside the 35. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit them with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
On the tackle, Tyrann Mathieu.
Right there, 54, right there, 54.
They're going to run the jet sweep. It's Cobb with it. Sharp there with his feet, gets him a little extra space, and then drop just inside the 20. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Now they'll throw it with Ryan. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. He's at the 50. He's at the 30, 20, 10. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. This defense, Charles, they needed some type of a spark to help get them back in this game. I think they just got their spark.
No doubt about it. And you know, that's all they discussed. How can we get ourselves moving again? How can we get our team going? This definitely qualifies.
Badgley on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They'll be looking to make amends for the events of a moment ago. A fumble return for 6 points.
You absolutely have to protect the football. That's got to be priority number one because margin for error is starting to slip away. Now it's down to a one-score game.
Back now in Pittsburgh. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. A 10th carry for Kamara. Powers through, and they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Throwing on 2nd and 8, Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dante Hightower picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And
because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Yeah, great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps them pick up the first. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on third down.
But sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there. A big Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on second down. Here's Wilson to throw. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Wilson. Well, they've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
On second down, it's Hunt. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. They'll run again with Hunt. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Off the play fake. Wilson eluding the pressure right. He'll try and run it. Less than 2 to play with just a field goal separating these two sides. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Here's Wilson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the foot. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Wilson rolling to his right. And he's got a man on the crossing route. That's more. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. Wilson to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Off the edge, it's Tyrone Crawford with a sack. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And it's hauled in by Ben Watson. Now the Seahawks forced to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. To throw is Wilson. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 46-yard line.
Ready, Blue 80! Blue 80!
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Pittsburgh, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this a jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad something pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see Modesto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, that make pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Put numbers on the board like